Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I haven't had much time to make videos and I wanted to pick it back up. I still have the MX-5 for anyone who's wondering, and I will still do at some point the conversion to the front of the MX-5. I've been using it as my daily driver as my job changed a little bit now, so I haven't really had time to work on it. And I will do more videos on it. When I was trying to do the conversion, I ended up coming across quite a lot of rust underneath the car. So that's something we have to jump back into and basically pick up. So we've got to replace a bunch of various bits and pieces under the car that need patching and repairing. So I'll do a video eventually on repairing the MX-5 and then pick back up on the project that we were doing previously. However, for now, I bought another car. And once you see the car, you'll know what it is. But it's a car that's very fond to me. When I was very young, my dad had one and kind of learnt to drive in it. And I've always had a thing for them. And I had one years ago, but it wasn't in great condition. And I ended up buying another one. This one, however, is in great condition and is a great car for me to do a project with. I'm gonna pull it out now so you guys can see. Right. Door unlocked, jump in, close the door, ignition in, let fuel pumps tick over. So this is the new car we'll be working on. It's an MGB GT, a rubber bumper version. They made these cars for many years, basically through late 60s all the way through to the early 80s. Bring the camera closer. Wow. So we bought quite a clean example. Not much rust to the body of the car at all, with some very minor blistering on the roof where I believe they painted it and they got some water under the paint. But it's a very clean car for its age. I got one of these because I had one of these years ago and I love these cars, as I said before. However, I thought it was a great project car for us to turn into what was basically at the time a race car. They built an MGB GTS, what was basically a Sebring variant of the MG that they used for racing. What they ended up doing was removing the bumpers completely off the body of the car, creating basically like a flat valance at the front and rear to blend it to the body of the car. The arches were widened. The chrome moldings were removed from the entire body of the car. They ended up running very wide mini lights on the car. What was a type of wheel made out of magnesium at the time. They moved the fuel tank location. So originally you would fill it up from here. They moved the fuel tank location up to the side of the wing. What we were also going to undertake during this project. A lot of people do the bodywork out of fiberglass. Now, there is a user on YouTube and you can look at his videos, but he basically did it out of metal. He built the whole body out of metal, and I want to do something very similar. So that this channel, well, this project is basically going to follow me converting this completely into a Sebring and adding a little bit of my own personal flair on it, because a lot of Sebrings have been built and I just want something slightly different. I'm going to take my inspiration from Japanese cars. As I said, I've always liked Japanese cars. I've also got the MX-5. So we're going to have a little bit of a Japanese vibe, but also keep some of the Sebring originality. Now what I ended up doing, I ended up ordering paint, aerosol paint. But it's the same color of the car. What we think is the same color of the car. So we were going to basically spray a test sample, put it up to the car to see how close the paint is. The reason I'm doing this, I don't want to respray the whole car during the project. However, I do still want to enjoy and drive the car and the car to look respectable. To do that, I'm basically going to check, see how close the aerosol is to being the right color. And if we can get away with it, we're going to do like small blow-in jobs where we're basically going to go do our little work in this area, spray it in so it blends away, and basically work our way through the car till everything's done. Eventually, I will respray the whole car, but for now, I'm trying to avoid doing that. Right, this is one of the panels that we're going to use for the rear of the car. There's one for the left, one for the right side of the car. However, I want to test the paint that we had, as discussed before. So we're going to sand this down, and we're going to give this a paint, and then we're going to compare that to the color on the body. Right, I'm going there and do the rest by hand. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Scotch-Brite, basically do the edges, key them up nice. Okay, now we're going to apply a little bit of primer onto this because we've gone through the paint in some areas. Alright, got a little test. I'm going to put a light coat on it. And now we're going to let that dry, give it 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to come back and give it another coat. Right, we've applied 2 coats of primer to the panel, and it's now dry. We've given it a light scotch. We're now going to apply our paint. Again, don't go too heavy. Now we're going to let that dry, and we're going to come back and do another coat in 10 minutes time. Right, so we've applied 2 coats of paint to the panel. We're going to test this panel next to the car now. It's a pretty good match, to be honest. We should be able to get away with that and use that as our panel, use that as our color to blend our panels. Try on another section of the car just to compare it. And it's a very good match, to be honest. I think we're going to be fine using that. I guess we can crack on with stripping the car. Right, we're going to start by removing the front bumper off the car. To do this, if you look behind, between the bumper and the grille, you're going to see 2 brackets. On these brackets, you're going to see a bolt on the inside, on the top, on both sides, and there is also a bolt underneath the car on this side on both sides. These bolts are a 9/16, removal 4. Before you remove them, you're going to want to disconnect the indicators. Now in my car, someone has hardwired these in. But if you look under your car, you will see where the wiring leads off of the back of the indicators. That's going to go under and into your wheel well area. Inside your wheel well area, you should see bullet connectors. If they're not there, cut these wires, and after you can fit bullet connectors to them. Right, we're going to start, as I said, we're going to start by cutting our indicator wires or disconnecting the bullet connectors if you have them. I'm going to use a pair of snips to do this. Alright, that's our wires cut. We're now going to remove our bottom 9/16 bolts. And the bumper should just pull away from the car. There we go. Alright, that's our bumper removed. Bring you closer to the car. Okay. Couple of things to note. On the rubber bumper cars, you have a crash bar bracket that comes all the way out to the front of the car. Now, in order to do the Sebring conversion, you need to remove these and cut these back. You also need to extend your lower lip that your rubber bumper valance is connected to, and you need to bring that lower lip out to the edge of the bumper. The reason you want to bring it out to the edge of the bumper is so when you bolt your panel to the front, your panel is going to sit flush with the front of the car. Alright, that's our grille removed. Right, that's our front valance off. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. A couple of screws were seized, so it took me a while to get the screws basically fully adjusted and removed. Next, we need to look at the bumper irons. So on a rubber bumper, you have these bumper irons that come out past the car, and we basically need to remove these. So we more or less will have to cut with an angle grinder somewhere back here to remove this complete faceplate off. This edge here we will bang and flatten, and then we'll weld another edge onto it to bring it in line with the edge of the wing here. We also still need to make our plates for the wing. Okay, so we've got our whole front end off now. Now what we're going to tackle is removing the rubber bumper irons. We are basically going to cut down the back here, through, come from the underneath, and cut through and take this front plate off first. So once that front plate is removed and we've cut it back, we'll then work our way further back and cut somewhere around here in line with where the front panel bolts to the wings. So we'll cut on that line. So that's our bumper irons completely removed. Now we're going to grind them back, bring them in line with this edge. So we're going to grind the bottom section back. Same on this side, grind the bottom section back to bring it in line. Then we're going to fold this edge upwards like this, so it's flat. So we're going to hammer and dolly this. After that, we're going to go back and address this to help us start to bend the front lip. So we're going to do that. Just to ease it in, make our lives a little easier. Okay. Right, we've cut back both our sides and we sprayed a little bit of rust treatment on there just to clean the insides out. So we'll let the rust treatment cure. Once that goes off, then we'll spray a bit of paint inside the rails and we'll start making our plates for here. We're gonna make a plate to bring that edge out to line up together, and then we're gonna make a plate for the front. Right, that's our left side of the car done with our plates. We're now going to copy and do the exact same side for the right side of the car. Right, so on this project, we're basically going for these style lights. So we're going to go for these Lucas bullet indicators that used to come on DB4s. Now, I don't like this shape here, and I want it all to be smooth. So we're going to hammer and dolly this out, and then we're going to create a bit of metal to go across, and when we weld, we're just going to weld this whole section smooth. Now, I forgot to say this, but when you're doing this kind of work, make sure you're using earplugs. You're banging in a closed environment. This is going to be rattling your head, and it's also going to damage your hearing. So make sure you wear something like this whilst you're working on the car. Okay, we've stripped it. We can now see our metal. We're pretty good. We're going to give that another hammer and dolly to get that even more smooth. We're now going to go ahead and do the other side. We're more or less going to shape this cardboard like so. I'm gonna leave a bit of metal like that on the bottom, and we know we're gonna have to fold this and kind of shape the metal to get this into the correct place. What we'll probably do to allow us to shape this, because we're gonna fold this, it's gonna make it very rigid. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna cut a couple of relief cuts in the bottom, and we'd weld that up after, and that's going to give us the flexibility to flex that. As you can see, look, we can do that, but the minute we fold it, it's a lot harder to flex. Right, now on the front valiance, you've got this sway line, right? And we basically want to remove it. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a dolly and a hammer. Put that back a bit so you can see. Use a dolly and a hammer. I've already done this side, so you can see we've already smoothed that out by basically applying the dolly behind like that and using the hammer like that on the panel. We're basically going to work our way through the whole panel like so. So we apply that behind there and keep going until we get the correct shape. Alright, boom. Alright, we're going to start welding the frame. Get this lined up. Alright, that's welded up. Now to weld the original mounting holes.
It's a policeman now
Yeah.
in Lewisham.
Let's weld our plate in. Right, that edge is welded up, as you can see. Plates are welded in, we'll have to grind that back. We need to weld the plate in now, in this position. Okay, that's our welding done. We still need to do our underneath lip, but we'll get that once we jack the car up and do the underside. Right, so our metal ground back. I'm going to take a finishing wheel, go over it again, and then we'll hit it with sandpaper at the end. And we might give it a little bit more of a hammer and dolly just to shape it. Now, so we'll take a little close-up look at that. So that's what it's looking like. So we just need to finish off our other side. So we just need to finish off our other side exactly the same.
Hey guys, unfortunately my camera ended up dying whilst I was working on the front of the car, so I didn't actually get to record this bit, but there's a picture there so you can basically see the indicators that I installed. I also put the front valiance on temporarily by attaching it with screws, and I will be welding it eventually to both wings and welding it to the body itself, but the picture gives you a general consensus of what was done. The lights are very easy to install. Basically took an 8mm drill bit, drilled a hole where I wanted the center to be, and then used a cone cutter to basically work my way all the way through the cone cutter so the lights would fit, and then attach them to the body with some machine screws to basically test fit them. If you're going to do this, same as I did it, you're going to want to be very careful that you get the alignment right. I got it slightly wrong, but you can open the hole up a bit more to allow you to move the light around. But if I had got it more wrong than I did, they wouldn't match up. So be careful if you're going to go this route. Again, thanks for joining me on the channel. I hope you've enjoyed the first video. I should be releasing another one soon.